now coming to the T-junction of the road running to Ottersdal and Roodewal, and we're very near the bush-built battlefield. Well, by accident we've now arrived at the Roodewal battlefield site, and this is the key junction. We're going to head towards Glodina. Slag van Roodewal, 1902, 4th month, the 11th of April 1902, the Battle of Roodewal. Well, Tricia doing her stuff again like a great fence post person. This is the track from the Glodina road, and this is the entrance to the battlefield monument at Roodewal. This is the cemetery where all the burghers who were killed in the mass charge against the British lines here lie buried. This is a monument to Kommandant Potgieter. I'll tell you a little bit about him later. And behind is the mass grave where over 40 burghers lie buried. The British who were killed here are buried, as far as I can remember, in Ottersdal Cemetery. We'll have a look at that later. This is the view south from this point, and it was down here that Kemp and his burghers made a massive and extremely gallant charge on horseback against the British defences, which were across here to the north along the line of the Bruck-Spruit. They didn't make it. They were shot to pieces before they got there and broke off their charge and headed back in this general direction across this plain and up over the rise here. The country in reality is so flat that there's very little cover at all. The British column under the command of General Ian Hamilton were unencumbered by wagons. They came out here with guns, a mass of mounted troops, and almost 15,000 strong, were determined to crack and break de la Rey's commando in the Western Transvaal. To a certain extent they did so here. De la Rey was away at a conference, and Kemp, in charge of the commando for once, was a bit too rash and made a very sad mistake. In the corner of the cemetery is the grave of Kommandant Potgieter, who died in the battle and requested, in a premonition that he was to die here, that his grave, or that his body, be buried in the exact position in which it fell. And this was done so. All the burghers from this cemetery were reinterred into the cemetery in Roodewal some years ago, but Potgieter remains here, where he died, where he fell, with his grave covering his body in the position in which he fell on the battlefield. The inscription is all in Dutch, but it's still quite clear on the slate gravestone. The same, however, cannot be said for the slab that covers his grave. The courageous charge of the Boer commandos against the rifles, guns and machine guns of Van Donnep's and Grenfell's men along this front resulted in 93 men being shot down, the highest casualties that the Boers suffered in any of the engagements in this part of the country during the whole of the Boer War. Of the 93, 43 in fact were killed.